The search of the 3 missing Montgomery College students continues in Frederick County tonight as dozens of volunteers and state officials join local forces in what has now become a full-scale search of the Black Hills area.
Local officials, combined with over 100 search volunteers, have failed to come up with any signs of the 3 missing filmmakers. Montgomery College film students Heather Donahue, Michael Williams, and Joshua Leonard were reportedly shooting a school project about a local myth called the Blair Witch. At this time, their whereabouts are still unknown. Of 3 missing filmmakers has been called off. 10 days and thousands of man-hours have been unable to produce any clues to the cause of the mysterious disappearances. Family and friends of the Montgomery College graduates are holding on to the hope that someone or something will provide some answers.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
Mr. Leonard, Keith Whitaker from News Channel 6. May we have a moment of your time? Well, sir, footage has been found related to the disappearance of your son from a year ago. Sir, do you believe the occult may be related to the disappearance of your son?
No, wait a second. No, I don't. And my wife and I are tired of hearing all this crap, all right?
The case of the Black Hills disappearances has once again been closed. The investigation was reopened last October after film reels and video cassettes supposedly belonging to the 3 missing film students were found by a Maryland University anthropology class. Frederick County police officials declared today that the found footage was inconclusive and that all possible leads on the case have been exhausted. Heather Donahue, Joshua Leonard, and Michael Williams disappeared in 1994 while shooting a documentary film project in the Black Hills area near Burkittsville.
The turnout here has been really overwhelming as dozens of volunteers from all over the area have come here to help find these students. We have here with us now Deputy Hart, who has been leading today's operations. Deputy Hart, what do you think of this turnout?
Well, it's been a long day, but we've got great turnout from the Tri-County area. We got school children and church volunteers, and so we covered quite a bit of ground with them.
We also have here with us now Bill Combs, one of the search volunteers who came all the way here from Rockville to help join this search party. Mr. Combs, what made you decide to come here and help with the search?
Well, I used to camp in this area, and I have 2 kids of my own. I just thought I could help out, maybe.
Are you optimistic about finding the students?
Yes, I am. The area's a little rough, the search a little slow going, but we'll find them.
Okay, well, let's hope that we have some good news to report tomorrow so that all of these volunteers, and most important, the 3 students, Heather, Michael, and Joshua, can go home and be reunited with their families.
After 3 days of searching, local officials, combined with over 100 search volunteers, have failed to come up with any signs of the 3 missing filmmakers. Montgomery College film students Heather Donahue, Michael Williams, and Joshua Leonard were reportedly shooting a school project about a local myth called the Blair Witch. At this time, their whereabouts are still unknown. Keith Whitaker has this report.
An entire community has banded together in hopes of resolving what has been a terrifying experience for the family and friends of 3 missing filmmakers. For Heather Donahue, for Joshua Leonard, and Michael Williams, their fate may depend on the courage and determination of these individuals. This is Keith Whitaker reporting from the search camp for Channel 6 News. Why is the search being called off?
Well, as you know, we've been out here 10 days, 10 long days. We've had over 100 volunteers, my staff, and we've come here at least twice now. And there's other avenues we want to cover, other leads we have at the present time.
Is there any substance to the rumors that this may be a hoax by the students?
No, we have no reason to believe that this is a hoax right now. I have no evidence pointing in that direction.
Do you suspect foul play?
We have no comment right now at this time.
Could you open up the one just to...
This one's labeled as day 5.
Okay, so we had a total of 5 of those over 5 days. And this one here is unopened. So.
Yes.
Okay. All right, then we've got...
We have 11 videotapes.
And those are...
The brief sample.
Those are video 8.
Yes.
All right.
I don't know where it all goes.
And this is the camera here, video camera.
Yeah, this is the, looks like a high 8. What it says on there. Shit down the lake that Dylan I don't know what it is. Film camera.
With the magazine.
Did you see any of it?
Okay. And now we've got
11 film canisters. All still taped.
And these are assumed to have been
We should
exposed.
photograph the pages of the journal later. All right, I'll take those.
These have not been developed yet, and it is assumed to have been exposed. And they're going to the lab to process. And when are they going?
Well, I guess we're going to go to that place. How we're going to keep that area clean, as far as who we're going to send down for the processing.
Okay.
We're going to have to send an officer down.
And now I assume all these, have these been dusted for prints and all yet? I guess not.
Yeah, this is all.
Okay.
This is all stage 2 stuff. This is all, cleared for handling.
A vehicle that belonged to the students on Black Rock Road, had it impounded and did some more searching. Still couldn't locate a campsite, and I called into Frederick County investigators for assistance.
The thing I remember saying to him was the night before he left. He had a vision, he had a hope of becoming something, that he felt was important. And I said, look, if you're going to be happy, go for it. By all means, go for it. That's what you should strive for, just to be happy. I have a feeling that they were killed, they were murdered, and we should throw this Blair Witch theory out the window.
Was probably one of the 2 or 3 best students that I've had the pleasure of teaching. She was committed, she was energetic, she was very creative. She was someone who I think reminded me of myself really a lot at her age. Joshua was more glitz. He thought it would be cool to be in the film business.
The anthropology class was out there doing a dig, and they had found these tapes.
This backpack was found in sterile soil, which is like the bottom of a site. Just, from there to the middle of the earth is just dirt. The original house at the site had burned down, and so there was a layer of ash that was like sitting in the interior of the house, like the basement. This knapsack had been in sterile soil with no evidence around it of disturbance, and the whole thing was boxed in by basically a colonial era wall that was undisturbed. All of a sudden there was this sound like a bunch of rocks falling or something, and about 20 minutes later Pete comes running up, and he's got this dirty old like a backpack, and he tells me that when they were clearing out the debris from where the wall caved in, he had noticed in the bottom, it would be sort of the interior bottom basement of where the house was, he saw a little like a black belt, he thought, sticking out of the ground. And he kind of dug around there and pulled it out, and what it was a backpack. It was as if it materialized. And of course, that's not the language of science, so I just don't know what to say about this, really.
I contacted a local color lab. We got it developed, and I reviewed the film.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if Heather and Josh and Michael or either one of them had hidden that tape there, or if someone else had.
Talking about the Blair Witch of Maryland in 1786 and the Bell Witch of Adams, Tennessee in 1817. Now, while both of these are interesting academically, it is the Blair Witch that is the most colorful.
The story goes that she had bled a few children, and by that pinpricks, probably because of some sort of illness that she detected or something to that effect.
Burkittsville was actually founded on another old town by the name of Blair. It was founded here in 1734 to protect the western approaches to Baltimore. It died out because of a witch that came here. She appeared here. Her name was Ellie Kedwards, and she took a bunch of the children, kidnapped them, and carried them off into the woods.
The children went back, reported it to their parents. This is, of course, at that time, an early sign of witchcraft. She was tried, summarily convicted, and banished.
There was a book came out about the witch of Blair, and I had that book here for a number of years, and belonged to the Maryland Historical Society, and they decided they wanted it. It was the only copy there was of it.
And the book is filled with bloodletting, all kinds of bloody gore, witchcraft, paganism. Basically, it's a pack of lies.
It's pretty true, pretty factual book about what really happened was through with all their farming and stuff. They decided to go on a picnic, a bunch of them did, down on this little creek. A child could just wade across or crawl across there, really, it was so shallow.
This little girl was playing in a very shallow stream of water and she drowned.
And this white hand had come up out of the water. That's all they could see. Nobody ever saw a face or a body. All they remember seeing was the arm and the hand.
According to what we've been told through written records, then turns oily and has a bunch of stick figures floating into it for the next week. No one can use the river for any kind of water for food or drinking or anything like that. It's totally unusable.
There was a man downstream a little later that drank some of that water and it killed.
50 years forward in time, we come up to 1886, and there was a very gruesome event that occurred.
Well, in 1885, there was a lady lived there in town when I was a boy. She was 50 years old when I knew her, and she told me that when she was a little girl, she had been walking in the woods one day, and this lady appeared to her. And she wasn't walking, she was floating in the air, really.
But it's plausible here that this little girl was only telling a story of the Blair Witch as she heard it from maybe her parents, her siblings, or her friends.
In the meantime, the town had started a search for her. They sent out a search party to look for her in the woods.
The first search party that had gone out to look for the little girl had vanished. So they formed a second search party to go look for the first search party. And what they found was a massacre.
And when they got to a place called Coffin Rock out there, the men were laying on that rock, all dead. But they were almost tied together like they were a raft.
The first search party had been killed, laid out on a flat rock in the woods. They had been disemboweled.
You could tell they were alive when they were tied up because the ropes had cut into them, and the ropes were bloody from cutting into their wrists and legs.
And on their faces, their hands and feet were carved these strange pagan symbols.
They took off back to town, which I'd probably done too, because gosh, you find all these dead men there, you wonder who's waiting there to kill you.
The search party goes back to get help, and when they return, the bodies have vanished without a trace.
And by the way, the lady said she never again went in those woods as long as she, up till I knew her when she was 50 years old, she'd never went in the woods.
Up to 1940.
Some of the young kids started to disappear, and nobody knew anything about why they were disappearing.
And I was a boy myself at that time, but I was a little bit bigger than these kids that disappeared, even though my mother wouldn't let me out of her sight.
I will remember to my dying day that look on my mother's face when she was told that my brother was murdered.
And one by one, up until 7 of them had disappeared.
Finally, one day, old Mr. Parr come down into the market and said, "I'm finally finished."
And what did he mean by that?
Well, I guess nobody knew at first, but the police finally went up on the mountain, and they searched his house, and they found the bodies of 7 kids from the area.
And he's brought to trial for this, and he admits to the crime. But he says that he did it for an old lady ghost.
And I had a tape one time of a television, of a newsreel showing him as he was murdered, he was killed for murdering those 7 boys.
Now, it's possible that this man was trying to fit himself into the mythos of the Blair Witch, but that's conjecture.
How did you do it, Mr. Parr?
I heard voices in my head.
What kind of voices?
A woman's.
Whose voice, Mr. Parr?
No idea who it was.
Was it Satan, Mr. Parr?
I grew up and got out of there, and I didn't want to go back to that place. That little town was just too full of horrible memories.
It does seem that it's almost 60-year intervals between these events, and I do find that very strange.